I think about it all the time. I be getting in my feelings. I'm like, yo, I'm a baller, I'm a beast. And then I see other people, I'm like, yo, I'm kind of weak compared to them.
Right, right.
There's always a bigger fish.
Right,
always
right.
a bigger dog somewhere.
And it's weird because you don't want to compare yourself for the vanity reasons. Because if you're going to compare yourself, you want to look at it from a perspective of, hey, I want to be able to get to this level so I can level up and then achieve a bit more and experience a bit more. Like, for example, if you was to go on a 2-month like tour around, you know, the UAE to all the different sort of locations, you could probably go over there and explore a certain percentage of the spot. But if it was like a 3-month, a quarter of the year just exploring, you probably can't afford to do something like that's a whole other level.
Right.
So in order to get to that particular level, you got to do a bit more. But for somebody else, they could look at it like, oh no, for me, all I want to do is just make it to Dubai. I just want to see one spot. I want to go to Greece. I just want to go to Mykonos. I could care less about Athens and Santorini or whatever the case is. I just want to go to Ghana. I don't want to go to Morocco or Egypt and all this other stuff. So you can achieve that if you identify how that works. But then a lot of people ultimately find themselves getting caught up in the Joneses and everything of that nature, trying to keep up. And then they end up, you know, not getting to the goal that they originally set.
It's hard because it gets easy to get lost in the sauce. That's what it is. Like, a great example. I see my friend. I have a great life. If I look at my life, I've really done it all. I came from nothing. I built a beautiful family, got a beautiful place. I could die now, and as an accomplished human being, having lived a better life than 99.99% of people.
Yeah.
So that could be very good. But then I just hang out with my friends that have fuck you money.
Yep.
And she's like, yo, you're doing it different.
Right.
You know? And I think people will always see that no matter where you're at, because no matter where you're at, there's always going to be some people that are above you, some people that are below you.
Right.
No matter what. So when I was completely broke, I saw my friends with a BMW. There was this dude, he was a little older than me, had a BMW 3 Series. I thought it was the coolest fucking thing. That car is like 30 grand. I thought it was the coolest fucking thing. He had this car though, and I was like, yo, if I could have that, that's the goal. I'd be living good. You know, girls like them. He was driving his little BMW.
Right.
Now I look at these guys with BMW 3 Series, and no offense to anyone that drives a BMW 3 Series.
It's beneath you now.
I'm like this.
Right.
Like, I spent your entire car payment on fucking, I don't know, a wedding ring for my wife. Like, I did something crazy like that, you know? So it's like, I look at that, I'm kind of like, this is no longer the flex to me.
Right. You grow out of it.
You almost like, grow out of it. But
stages.
But then I see my friends, he has a boat in his backyard. I'm like, fuck, this is a flex.
It's like you rent a yacht on the weekends. He has a yacht on the weekends and the weekdays. It's like, oh shit, well, I got another level to get to. And it's very funny how when you look at it like, okay, cool, I could finally flex, but then you can only flex to a certain degree. So then you go and you look like, oh man, you know, and it's not out of jealousy. There's a slight bit of envy that could be there, but then it's a healthy kind because it's motivating you to continually grow.
Well, it's not even envy. It's more so that, like, here's the thing. We're all equal. As human beings, we're all equal. Me, you, David, like, we're all equal. We all have the same opportunities. I'm not smarter than anyone. I'm not more talented than everyone. I think me being able to accept that, like, some people think just I'm better than this person. That's why I have more. I think that's a toxic, poisonous mindset. Right. I think we are all the same. We all have the same opportunities. So why does this person, how is he able to do this and I can't do it? That's what trips me out. You know, like, I think it should piss people off when they see other people doing stuff. And like, damn, how come I can't do that? Cause it's a very real thing. Like, I don't know, man. I'll see people that have stuff and I'm like, I want to fucking do that. Right. And this could be any aspect of life. It could be like, it doesn't have to be even monetarily. It could be someone like, yo, he got a great relationship with his wife and they got a beautiful family, but why can't I do that? Let's say there's a rich guy, but he's lonely. He got no bitches, right? Women don't like him. And he sees someone with a happy family, he's gonna have that. He's like, yo, if they could do it, I could do it. Right. It doesn't have to just be monetarily. So people are always gonna have like an extension or like someone that's like right above them. So I don't know if you should look at it as envy, but like you should look at it as like, yo, that's freaking awesome. I want that. Right.
And what the beautiful thing about it, and that we could pretty much close with this portion here, where it's a matter of having the willingness to, You know, not necessarily just educate yourself, but then also try to build a connection to understand how somebody was done it, whether the framework behind what's necessary to get to that particular kind of level. Because sometimes you could look at somebody like, man, I wish I had a life like, well, why don't you just ask them how they did it? Why don't you ask how they did it? Sometimes you got to pay to play. Sometimes you could just have a regular generic conversation where it doesn't come off needy, because I think that's an issue that a lot of people have, to where they, oh, well, tell me exactly what it is that you did, when you know somebody's selling, you know, the information as to how they did it.
Or even the worst is like when people don't want to, because I've seen this before, like entrepreneurs will go out to dinner and we'll just hang out. We just want a casual day.
Right.
Yo, how's your day? What we doing tonight? Like, what's the plan? And someone will come there with just business mindset. Wait, so how did you do it?
Right.
Wait, so this is what you do? What about this and this? And it's like, bro, you're killing the vibe for everybody.
Right.
Just be chill, you know? So I think it's okay to ask, but I think it's better to just study.
Right.
Don't ask questions about it, study. So here's a big thing that I'm realizing lately. A lot of these guys on that next level, that level above where I'm at, they don't drink or like do any drugs. They're all like super sober people, you know? Like they'll have a drink occasionally here and there, but they're not people that like...
Yeah, they're not heavily hitting the bottle.
They're not, they don't enjoy drinking. They don't enjoy that stuff. So for me, I've been cutting back on like all my drinking. I'm like, let me study this person. I'm cutting back on all the alcohol. I'm not going to be drinking as much. I'm going to avoid like all that stuff. Because these guys, almost all of them, they don't drink. Or if they drink, it's like they'll drink on occasion.
Right.
So I see that. I'm like, this is cool. That's like an observation. So you could just look at these people and observe what they do. I observe you all the time. Like, it sounds weird. No homo. I observe you.
All the time.
No homo, pause. I observe you all the time. You're a very diligent worker. You know, I see that. I'm kind of like, okay, this is what makes this person successful, because he doesn't really have a pause button. He just goes. You know, so when I see successful people, I'm kind of like, this is what makes them successful. I'm like, I'm curious. I'm observational. And I'm like, okay, so how do I replicate that to get that result for this guy?